Welcome to a journey through the shadows. Tonight, I bring you three tales that will twist your perception of fear. We'll venture into the darkness, where things aren't always as they seem, and the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Prepare yourselves, because what you're about to hear will chill you to the bone. Nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains, shrouded in mist and mystery, lies the village of Silent Hollow. It's a place where time seems to stand still, where the wind whispers secrets through the trees, and the only sound is the echo of forgotten memories. Our story begins with a group of friends, four adventurers seeking a thrill, a break from the mundane. They've heard the legends, the whispers of a ghost town, a place lost to time. Armed with backpacks, cameras, and a youthful sense of invincibility, they set out to find Silent Hollow. The drive is long, winding through narrow roads that snake through dense forests. The sun begins to set, casting long, eerie shadows, and a sense of unease settles upon the group. They joke to ease the tension, but their laughter feels hollow, swallowed by the growing darkness. Finally, they arrive. A weathered sign, barely clinging to its post, welcomes them to Silent Hollow. The village is eerily quiet. Houses stand empty, windows like vacant eyes staring out at them. It's as if the town was frozen in time, abandoned in haste. As the friends explore, they feel a growing sense of unease. There's a heaviness in the air, a palpable silence that seems to press down on them. They find a general store, its shelves still stocked with dusty goods, a schoolhouse with open books on desks, a church with hymnals scattered on the floor. It's as if the villagers simply vanished, leaving everything behind. Night falls and the darkness deepens, amplifying their fear. They decide to stay in the largest house, a Victorian mansion overlooking the village. As they settle in, they hear it, a low hum, a faint vibration that seems to emanate from the walls. It grows louder, becoming a chorus of whispers, unintelligible murmurs that weave through the house. The friends try to ignore it, to rationalize it as the creaking of an old house. But the whispers persist. They gather in the living room, huddled around a flickering lantern. They tell stories, trying to distract themselves, but the whispers grow louder, more insistent. Suddenly the lantern flickers and dies, plunging them into darkness. A cold wind whips through the house, slamming doors and rattling windows. The friends are gripped by terror, their hearts pounding in their chests. Then, as quickly as it started, the wind dies down, and the whispers fade away. The friends huddle together, shaken but unharmed. They try to sleep, but the events of the night replay in their minds, keeping them awake. They realize that Silent Hollow is not deserted, not in the way they thought. The whispers, the wind, the feeling of being watched. It all points to something else, something unseen, something that lingers in the shadows. The next morning they decide to leave. As they pack their things, they notice something strange. The objects they found the previous day, the dusty goods, the open books, the scattered hymnals, they're all back in their original positions. It's as if the village is resetting itself, erasing their presence. They flee Silent Hollow, driving away as fast as they can. As they leave, they look back at the village, shrouded in mist, receding into the distance. They know they've experienced something unexplainable, something that will stay with them long after they've left Silent Hollow. The legend of the forgotten village takes on a new meaning for them. They realize that the villagers haven't left, not entirely. They're still there, in the whispers, in the wind, in the shadows, trapped in an endless loop, forever frozen in time. Silent Hollow is a place where the past refuses to die, where the veil between the living and the dead is thin, and the echoes of forgotten souls linger in the wind. Our next tale takes us from the ghostly whispers of a forgotten village to the bustling streets of New Orleans, a city steeped in mystery where voodoo shops stand alongside jazz bars, and the air is thick with a sense of magic and the macabre. It's here we meet Eleanor, an antique enthusiast with a penchant for the unique and unusual. She scours flea markets and dusty antique shops, drawn to objects with history, with stories etched into their very being. One rainy afternoon, Eleanor stumbles upon a peculiar shop tucked away on a side street. The shop is dimly lit, filled with strange and wonderful objects, tribal masks, ancient scrolls, taxidermied creatures with glassy eyes. In the back corner, partially hidden by a velvet curtain, she sees it, a mirror, tall and ornate, its frame crafted from dark, polished wood. The mirror calls to her, its surface reflecting not just her image, but a sense of intrigue, a promise of something more. The shopkeeper, a gaunt man with piercing blue eyes, tells her the mirror is from the 18th century, brought over from Europe. He speaks of its history in hushed tones, hinting at its dark past, its connection to a noble family that met a tragic end. Eleanor, captivated by the mirror and its story, decides to buy it. She haggles with the shopkeeper, her excitement growing with each concession until finally the mirror is hers. She brings the mirror home, placing it in her bedroom, where it becomes the centerpiece, reflecting the muted light filtering through the window. As she gazes into the mirror, she feels a strange sensation, a tingling at the back of her neck. She dismisses it as her imagination, the power of suggestion at work. But as the days turn into nights, the feeling intensifies. One evening, as Eleanor is getting ready for bed, she catches a glimpse of something in the mirror. It's a fleeting image, gone in a blink, but it's enough to send a shiver down her spine. She sees herself, but not as she is now. She sees herself older, her face etched with lines of worry, her eyes filled with fear. She tries to rationalize it, to convince herself it was just a trick of the light, but deep down a seed of unease has been planted. The following nights, the images in the mirror become clearer, more detailed. She sees herself arguing with a shadowy figure, their faces obscured by darkness. She sees herself running through a dark forest, her breath ragged, her eyes wide with terror. And finally she sees herself lying still, her skin pale, her eyes vacant, a single red rose placed upon her chest. Eleanor is horrified. The mirror isn't just reflecting her image, it's showing her future, her death. She tries to ignore it, to cover the mirror, to get rid of it, but it's no use. The mirror has a hold on her, a dark fascination that she can't escape. She becomes obsessed with the images, analyzing each detail, trying to decipher their meaning. She researches the history of the mirror, hoping to find answers, a way to break the curse. Days turn into weeks, and Eleanor's life unravels. She withdraws from friends, neglecting her work, consumed by the visions in the mirror. Her once vibrant personality fades, replaced by fear and paranoia. The mirror has become her tormentor, a constant reminder of her impending doom. One stormy night, Eleanor decides she can't take it anymore. She grabs a hammer, determined to destroy the mirror, to break free from its grip. As she raises the hammer, lightning flashes, illuminating the room, and she sees it, the final image in the mirror. It's not her lifeless body, it's her reflection, raising a hammer, her face contorted with rage, her eyes filled with a chilling madness. The realization hits Eleanor like a thunderbolt. The mirror isn't showing her how she will die, it's showing her how she will cause her own demise. The visions, the fear, the paranoia, it's all been her own doing, fueled by her obsession with the mirror. The mirror is a conduit, reflecting her darkest fears, her deepest anxieties, back at her, amplifying them, driving her to the brink. Eleanor drops the hammer, her body trembling, her mind reeling from the realization. She backs away from the mirror, her eyes fixed on her reflection, no longer a victim but the architect of her own demise. The storm rages outside, mirroring the turmoil within her. She knows she has a choice: to succumb to the fear, to let the darkness consume her, or to confront her demons, to break free from the cycle of self-destruction. Imagine this: a family escaping the chaos of the city, seeking solace in the quiet embrace of an old house in the countryside. They see quaint charm, a chance for a new beginning. But this house, it holds secrets. It breathes history, whispers tales of the past. And sometimes those whispers, they're not just echoes. The Carter family, they were drawn to this house like moths to a flickering flame. John, the father, a writer seeking inspiration in solitude. Mary, the mother, an artist yearning for a space to create, and little Emily, their daughter, a bright spark eager to explore the nooks and crannies of their new home. The first few days were idyllic. Sunlight streamed through dusty windows, painting the rooms in a warm glow. Laughter echoed in the hallways, chasing away the lingering silence. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, a chill settled over the house, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that sent shivers down their spines. It started with whispers, faint murmurs that danced on the edge of perception. Emily, with her childlike innocence, was the first to notice. "Mummy, the walls are talking," she'd say, her eyes wide with wonder. John and Mary dismissed it as childish imagination, the product of an overactive mind settling into a new environment. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the house, swirling around them like a ghostly breeze. They spoke of forgotten tragedies, of secrets buried deep within the heart of the home. John, initially skeptical, couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that something was amiss. One night, as a storm raged outside, the whispers reached a fever pitch. They were no longer mere murmurs, but distinct voices filled with urgency and dread. "Beware," they hissed, "he's coming." Fear, primal and consuming, gripped the family. They huddled together, seeking comfort in their shared terror as the house groaned and shuddered around them. John, desperate to understand, delved into the history of the house. He uncovered a dark past, a tale of betrayal and violence that stained the very foundation of the home. The whispers weren't just echoes of the past. They were warnings, cries for help from souls trapped within the walls. The Carters, faced with this unsettling truth, had a choice: succumb to the fear that threatened to consume them, or confront the darkness that haunted their new home. They chose the latter. They listened to the whispers, piecing together the fragmented stories of the past. They discovered the truth, a chilling revelation that sent shivers down their spines. The house wasn't trying to scare them, it was trying to protect them. Thank you for joining me in these twisted tales. Remember, not everything is as it seems. The shadows hold secrets, and sometimes the whispers in the dark are not meant to frighten, but to warn. Sleep tight and keep the lights on.